Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a mother in London now shares a birthday with her son Jackson, who was born on New Year's Day. And a new procedure is helping people diagnosed with carotid artery disease, and a surgeon at the University of Kentucky using the method to help save lives. It's Friday. Plus, new gun laws in Tennessee took effect on Wednesday, allowing folks to replace an all-day safety course with just an online video.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
You got an hour to go until I stop tripping over my words, so hang tight with me. Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on Friday, January the 3rd. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Madison has today off, so you just have Brandon and I like the old days. Let's bring Brandon in this morning. Brandon, foggy across the region as those temps and that falling rain are fighting with each other.
That's right. It's the Y's this morning. Foggy and soggy, Will, and we're going to continue to track that trend as we head into the morning, the afternoon hours. Some counties getting a brief break right now on live pinpoint Doppler radar. You can see back out toward Knox County, parts of Bell County seeing a brief break there up toward Lee and Owsley counties as well, but it's still heavy across parts of Perry and Knott and Floyd and Pike counties and up toward Lawrence, back over toward Rowan and Morgan and Menifee County up that way. Elliott County seeing some heavy rain as well. I-75 at London seeing some pretty good rain, and down into Lake Cumberland as well. Taking a look at visibility, it's rough, especially in the Cumberland Valley where some of that heavier rain is falling and fog is developing, so just kind of keep that in mind. Excuse me, as you travel out the door this morning. Temperatures up to 50 now, Monticello and Irvin, but everybody else there in the I-75, Lake Cumberland and Cumberland Valley corridor in the upper 40s, and then 50s across from the Kentucky River into the Big Sandy, West Virginia and Southwest Virginia as well. 12-hour planner today. We're going to climb slowly into the mid to upper 50s this afternoon, even with the rain, because warm air will continue to surge in as we head through the next couple of days. We'll talk about the extended forecast heading into the weekend coming up here in just a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, the mother in Laurel County expected to have her baby around January 8th, but on Wednesday, he gave her the best 22nd birthday present she could have ever asked for. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to that mother who gave her nurses the most special New Year's they've ever had.
New Year's Day at St. Joseph, London always sparks a competition between the nurses and the birthing center. 2020 was no exception.
There were 2 labor patients, and of course I'm very competitive. We all are. We all want to be the first, especially the first of the year.
Vicky's first patient this year, Ana Vasquez.
You know, it came down to we really thought the other one was going to go first because she was further along in her dilation.
But after one push, Jackson proved them wrong. The quick delivery was the best 22nd birthday gift Ana and his dad Travis could have ever asked for.
I thought it was cool because, you know, they could share the day together. You know, I wouldn't have to worry about forgetting one of their birthdays.
That is not the only thing Jackson and Ana share. That day became special for Ana in 1998.
Well, I was the first baby in Napoleon, Ohio.
The story of Ana and little Jackson's welcome on New Year's was not just a blessing for his parents.
You know, it made my day. It's probably made my year.
Jackson kicked off the new year in a special way for everyone at the hospital, one they will never forget. In Laurel County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
The family went home with several gifts from the hospital, including a radio flyer and a new car seat. New year, new baby. Pikeville Medical Center rang in the new year with Zoe LaDawn Ramey. The 6-pound, 5-ounce daughter of Casey Ramey was the first baby born in 2020 at PMC. An unexpected way for her mother to kick off the new year.
She wasn't due till 1st of February, end of January. I came in and they told me she'll probably be a New Year's baby. They was all in a race for it.
Zoe received a scholarship to the University of Pikeville for finishing the race before the other babies in the city. And with the new year comes more than new babies. We'll also see new laws coming into action. One example, well, those fruity flavored e-cig cartridges are about to be a thing of the past. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services announced a new policy prohibiting the sale of those products Thursday. Under the FDA rule, vape companies will only be allowed to sell 2 flavors of vaping cartridges, tobacco and menthol. They will have 30 days to stop manufacturing, distributing, and selling other flavored cartridges. The ban just applies to flavored cartridges, not devices that use tank systems sold in vape shops. New guidelines for nutrition labels went into effect on January 1st. The FDA now requires labels on packaged food to include up-to-date scientific information, including information about the link between chronic diseases and diet. The rule change applies to manufacturers who sell more than $10 million a year in food products. Those who sell less than that do not have to comply until the 1st of next year. The FDA says the change will help consumers make healthier food choices. A new procedure is helping people diagnosed with carotid artery disease. It affects about 500,000 people. Surgeons performing the procedure say it takes less risk and can be more effective. And there's a surgeon at the University of Kentucky using the method to help save lives. Miranda Combs has the story.
I mean, who wants their whole head and neck cut open?
No. And then yours is just a touch.
There's a small little scar right here. That's it.
I see it.
Lanny Evans is one of close to 500,000 people a year to be diagnosed with carotid artery disease.
All I know is that a piece of plaque went across my eye.
Actually, a patient who has a bypass from their carotid.
Dr. Sam Tiagi just happened to be on call the weekend it happened. He rushed her in.
I was a perfect candidate for his procedure.
She could have had a stroke at any time.
When they told me this was 75% blocked, I just needed to clear that up. I just wanted it fixed.
So she didn't blink when Dr. Tiagi told her there was a new surgery to clean the plaque out of her carotid artery. Since the 1950s, cardiovascular surgeons have commonly made a relatively long incision down a patient's neck to unblock the artery. But the problem is sometimes the blockage is higher or lower than the area a surgeon can get to.
So for those patients, in order to prevent stroke from those plaques, the only other option has been either medical therapy or a stent placed from the groin.
But there was a downside to that, too. As the stent goes up the blocked area, it can cause pieces of the plaque to break off and go to the brain, causing a stroke.
And so that procedure of a stent being placed from the groin or a carotid stent has around double the risk of stroke than the traditional open surgery.
That being said, Dr. Tiagi found a relatively new procedure that avoids the issues with the old traditional open surgery and the stent surgery.
It's called the transcarotid artery revascularization, or TCAR.
And when did you bring it here?
About a year and a half ago.
Okay.
He's done about 20 of the procedures. Evans was one of them.
So essentially what we do is we make a small incision right above the collarbone, approximately an inch, and we're able to put a catheter in there, and that gives us the ability to do flow reversal. So the blood normally goes up to the brain like this, but what it does is the blood goes up to the brain from the other side and comes down this way. And the reason that's important is because when we place the stent, any bits of plaque that could break off that would go to the brain are now going the other direction, goes into the sheath, into a filter, and we give the blood back.
Dr. Tiagi admits the older procedures shouldn't be discounted, but considering so many people deal with this disease, it's important to know the options. In Lexington, Miranda Combs, WYMT Mountain News.
1/4 of all strokes come from the carotid artery. Well, Google says its artificial intelligence system can beat doctors at detecting breast cancer. The claim is based on a study published Wednesday in the scientific journal Nature. It was developed through a collaboration between the tech giant and cancer researchers. The AI program was trained to detect cancer using tens of thousands of mammograms from women in the UK and the US. Early research shows it resulted in fewer false positives and false negatives and can produce more accurate detection than human radiologists. And if you are a smoker, mark U-Haul off the list of potential employers. The company says it will stop hiring people who use nicotine in 21 states. Those states allow an employer to decline to hire someone based on their nicotine use. U-Haul will implement the policy on February 1st. The policy will not apply to current employees. People seeking U-Haul jobs in those states will be questions about nicotine use. In states where testing is allowed, applicants must consent to submit to nicotine screenings to be considered for employment. Regionally, Kentucky, Tennessee, and West Virginia are not in that list, but Virginia is. Well, new gun laws in Tennessee took effect Wednesday. The new rule says applicants can watch a 90-minute video online instead of taking an 8-hour class to obtain a handgun carry permit. Applicants are tested after the video presentation and will still have to pay a $60 fee. They may still take the 8-hour class, which includes FaceTime with instructors and a live fire test. Well, you can kick off the new year by saving a life today. The Kentucky Blood Center and WYMT are partnering to ensure there is an adequate blood supply for the new year. The Blood Mobile will be parked outside our station from 3 until 6 this afternoon. Donors will receive a KBC hoodie. To schedule a donation, you can visit KentuckyBloodCenter.org. Of course, walk-ins are always welcome.
We continue to track heavy rain this morning across the area, but some spots, as we mentioned earlier, seeing a brief break in the action. Let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. Heaviest band of rain right now going through parts of the Kentucky River and Big Sandy. So Pikeville seeing some pretty good rain back over toward Prestonsburg, back down toward Hyman, just out of Hazard here, and in the southern and eastern parts there of Breathitt County as well, Magoffin County as well, seeing some of that rain. Visibility pretty iffy this morning, especially in Harlan, Wise, over toward Williamsburg this morning, up toward Moorhead, so just be careful, give yourself plenty of time. Pikeville as well, we're looking at 40s except for Monticello there at 50, Irvin as well, and across the I-75, Cumberland Valley and Lake Cumberland corridors, and 50s across the Big Sandy and Kentucky River. Weather app forecast for today, you guessed it, rain back and forth all throughout the day. Temperatures top out right around 57. Don't forget you can get that for free in the App Store and Google Play for your tablet, device, smartphone, whatever you got. You can keep track of alerts there on that app. You can also get the latest radar, and you can also get the latest at WYMT.com. Also, social media. Give us those pictures and videos and reports if you can, if it's safe to do so. We appreciate that. You are our eyes and ears in the field. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you, sir. And thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Amazon is being accused of threatening to fire workers for publicly pushing the company to do more on climate change. And this year's presidential election is likely to be decided by a handful of swing states and their electoral votes. But there is a growing movement to make some changes.